Hi, it's Trisha. I'm going to put my other earbud in. I'm coming today in a different area of the house because my son is doing something by my studio, and I don't want to disturb him. And so I thought I would do something a little bit different. I'm going to just check my stuff here, make sure I can see it. If y'all will stop in and say hello and let me know if you can hear me or if you have any questions or anything. I may not see them right now, but I'll try to answer them as I see them. So my name is Trisha, and I'm with Trisha P. Jones Creative, and I mainly am finishing up my graphic design school and gearing my work towards small business owners who need help with their business branding, and for creatives who need help maybe creating vectors or graphics or anything like that, or their blogs, any kind of design work like that. That's what I do. Sorry about the headphones, I'm just in a different area. So what I'm going to do today is going through, I made a post yesterday about the logo process that's 4 easy steps. And the first step is sketching it, then you vector it, then you colorize it, and then you present it. And that sounds really easy, but really it's not as easy as it sounds. And so today I had watched some videos earlier about people using Fiverr, and it was a designer who's way better than I am, with a lot more experience than I am, and he was critiquing him, and he had paid $5 for this logo. And they weren't horrible, but they weren't really what he wanted. So one thing that I really didn't capture in my 4 easy steps is really, those are assuming that you've already met with your client and assuming that you've gone over a briefing from them. And they, as a small business owner, may not know what you need to have in that briefing, but you as a designer need to know what to ask them. So so that's the first step. And so what I'm doing is just kind of building my portfolio. So I'm making up a company, and I kind of want to do floral or something like that. I always wanted to have a florist or work for a florist. I thought if I could ever do anything I wanted, I'd work for a florist. And I'm not really good with plants or anything like that. I do have a garden I started this year. But so anyway, what I'm going to do today is just go through like what you would do sketching. And so I'm just going to create this. Now this is one I did for one of my classes. And these are just some different ideas to kind of get you creating. Now these are not logos. These are just kind of graphic layouts. But what I want to do is create a grid and have my logos a little more designed. Because when you present to your client, you want to have, you want them to be finished. And it depends on how many you have and your budget and all that, how many you would present with them. So I'm going to put the camera down, and hopefully y'all can see it okay. Let me see. It's going to make some noise, so I apologize for that. But let me get it down here. You can see, try to be quiet. And I'm going to take a second to make sure that you can see it. And there's a delay, so it's going to take me a minute. That's a long delay. Hopefully that's good right there. Okay, I just don't want it to mess with anyone. So hopefully y'all can see that. That's some hand lettering I did. Okay, so there's that, and I'm gonna tap it. See if that focuses a little bit better. Try to get it a little more in focus. So I'm gonna do a 9-box grid. Okay, you can tell I was just practicing. It's been a while since I've got to focus on my hand lettering, and I need to get back at it. I may do some videos about that and do some teaching on that if anyone's interested. Because that's really kind of what got me interested in this. You can see my light there. Let me see. Hopefully that's not too bright. So I'm going to go back this grid. I want to measure it because I kind of like that. I'm not going to do 4. I'm going to do 3. Yeah, they're 2 by 2. And let me see, we're at 9. So if I do 2 by 2, so 2. So if I go down, I may do 2.5. Go in a 1/2 inch. So I got my pencil. And I'll leave a link to the supplies I use here. So there's that one. I'll go in 1/2 inch. And then divide it by 3. Let's see what that gets me. So that's at 8. So that's so 1. That's 2.5. 2.5, and that is there to there. So this is just the planning process. Oh, I hope that's on the, okay, good. So go down. This is my favorite pencil. It is from Sakura. I need to order another one. So I'm going to do 2.5. So that was what it, some of it's eyeballing. It's not perfect. Here. Oops. Here. And I like to go get my straight edge. I'm probably going to invest in a T-square because that'll really help. That's one thing. I'm always off a little bit. Yeah, it's there. And then this will just give you a good spacing. So your logos are all about the same size. Oops, you don't want your fingers to get in the way. Oops, sorry for the movement, the camera. So it's just so weird. I'm still not used to doing the lives because it feels like I'm talking to myself and I kind of am just quiet anyway. So that's okay. So I'm just going to kind of talk through it. But I don't know. I always find this stuff interesting. And then what I usually do is repurpose these on my YouTube channel, which I have a lot of lettering videos on there. And I'll try to share a link to that if you're interested in some old lettering videos. And I may start to do those again, especially with the holidays coming up, because I like making cards and stuff like that. The one thing, this is very soft lead, so it erases really well. Oh, I think I lost connection. Okay, so now just kind of clean up. And I have, these are my favorite erasers here, kind of clean up the area a little bit. So today I'm just brainstorming. I haven't even really thought about this much. I just wanted to, get something out. We were out of town last week, so I didn't get to do a live. And I had shared the video about doing the Facebook shop. And I know there's probably some videos out there and Facebook's really good, but sometimes it's just nice to have someone who's done it before just kind of show you, walk you through it. And I still have my free download guide, the checklist, if you want that. And I'm working on my blog. I've got a few new articles up there. And I'll probably blog about this as well. So if you want to check out my blog, you're welcome to. It's just triciapjones.com. All right, I'm going to clean up this. This is the one thing that kind of bugs me. And you can ink this and then recreate it. For what I'm doing, the practice work, I don't really need to. It does make it cleaner. to ink it and then go, but this is just a sketch pad, just regular old sketch pad. So it's for this purpose. So I'm going to kind of switch it around, and this may be upside down, but you can kind of get the idea of the flow. So what I'm going to try to work on is an icon type logo, and then we'll have the name. And so I want to do a florist. And if you have an idea for a name, a made up name that you're not using, let me know, and I'll work that name in there. So we're going to just start. I don't know what that is. There's just something there. Okay, that's going to bug me. You know what that looks like? It looks like the paper is torn there. Oh, that's going to bug me, but that's all right. It's just a sketch. I'm sorry, you can see my little cord here. I need to get my wireless earbuds on. And I apologize if I'm losing internet for his class. They're starting back. So if I lose connection, it's probably because he's sharing. And hopefully it's focused. It looks like it is now. So I'm just going to sketch out. These are my favorite flowers to draw. Now, I am not an artist. I wish I was. I've always wanted to be an artist. I don't know if I have any sketches here. That's just more lettering. That's I don't know what I was thinking there. I can't even draw stick people. So there's some lettering. This was a practice. That was for one of my assignments too. Let me see. So these are very, very, very basic. I usually try to spend more time on this, but this just gives you an idea of some different concepts so you can have clusters. But for a logo, you really want it to be very simple. You want it scalable. So if it's on a bus or a billboard, it's going to look great big, or it's going to look great small. And some of the things for smaller businesses and blogs, their logos are meant for that one purpose. They're not really meant to be scalable, and that's fine too. It's just if you're thinking about a small business, those are things to communicate with your designer. So what I usually do is try to have something that's just fun and pretty for like a banner, like your banner on your blog or something like that, that's real cute. Or your Facebook thing, and then I'll have one that's scalable. I try to do at least 3 different options. So here I'm going to just start, and these I may not end up going with any of these, but it's just like brainstorming or like a brain dump for like when you're on a writing assignment. You're just sketching ideas. So, and I don't know how well you can see that. So I'm just going to start very simple with some simple shapes and just a little daisy look. And there, I mean, this is, like I said, this is just brainstorming. And my end goal is going to be very basic. So you can have some little highlights. You can put a letter here. You can add this, add a little leaf. So I'm thinking very basic shapes. And then you can do a bud. And I haven't even looked up any florist logos for ideas. I usually get kind of a I'm sorry, I can't, my ADD is kicking in. Like a vision board with color schemes and stuff like that. So for this, yeah, a little shape. So sorry, y'all. Okay, there's that one. Okay, and then you can do a rose I love the cabbage rose. Let me see if I can get a cabbage looking rose. Like a bud. I probably need some, let me get some inspiration here, because for some reason I'm not visualizing a cabbage rose right now. I can see it in my mind, but I can't visualize it. So this is more like a kind of like a bud too, I guess. And then this is not good right here, but you can just kind of see it coming through. And you can easily get pigeonholed in ideas, and so that's what's good about like visualizing something. So this is kind of better. I went to Pinterest just to get some ideas, and with paint, like if I'm doing watercolor paints, I can kind of do a pretty decent flower, but sketching it as a vector is kind of a challenge. So we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna go very basic. And I don't want it to be perfectly circle. So we're just gonna kind of go like this. Like this. So we're kind of looking from the top down. Kind of like that, because you can do some stuff with this. I can see this vectored really easily. And I'm in the front of my house and people are walking by probably wondering what the heck I'm doing talking to myself in here. So you're kind of going in real soft triangles, and then you're just going to tighten that up. And then you'll have your bud inside. And then if you want to draw some leaves coming out, you can get the big ones. Let me see. Let me draw a big one here. It looks almost like a flag. I always like to do in threes. So there's one idea that kind of looks like an eyeball. So let me see. That's a cabbage rose, and I love tulips. So let's do a tulip. So what's your favorite flower? So I really like the tulips. So I think I'm gonna go in threes there. So we're just gonna have like a little bowl shape. Said real simple. That's a little bit too narrow. And then I'm going to do this one that's kind of offset a little bit. I'm not loving this at all, but kind of gives you an idea. Do one over here. This one I'll make a little higher. Kind of have it going back that way. This is very rough, very, very rough. And then the stems are a little bit thicker on here. we got that. And then I'm just going to do a very simple tulip. Yeah, I like the watercolors. Do a bud. They're the prettiest to me when they're buds, but I don't know if anyone else agrees that when they open up, they just, I mean, they're still pretty, but I just love the buds. The tulips before they open. They're my absolute favorite. Just have them kind of wrap around a little bit. I probably need to get a little more detail that kind of looks like a leaf. I probably need a little more help with this one. It's a little more abstract. It's hard not to shake this camera. No leaves. And I see another one that I like. I'm really liking the tulip, so I'm going to do it more like a bell shape here. Not quite so much there. And this one's more. Definitely see this as an abstract shape for a logo. I kind of like this one so far. And honestly, I do have a heavy hand when drawing and writing, so that's one of the things about practice that helps, is to have a lighter hand. That I actually learned that in my drawing class with chalk. But you have to have the practice, and that's one thing I just haven't had a lot of practice on. It's more of like an abstract tulip there. Very nice. Kind of like this one. I like the buds, but I need help with that. That bud's cute. These are just very generic, and I could probably work with that one a little bit. But I'm thinking I'm gonna just keep looking for some other inspiration. That one kind of looks like a daisy. Lavender is nice. So I don't know about using that for. So we'll just do some lavender. And this one, I'm not sure about vectoring the lavender. But I'm brainstorming here. So, and I always thought I like to go in odd numbers, so either single, but I think for lavender it's better to have 3. So, and I think the wind, I think I want to kind of have the wind blow and then kind of have it like that. And then we're just going to do really simple. I went off the board a little bit. Shrink that up. Don't want it quite so big. So, and ideally you wouldn't want to see the stems first, but it's kind of the base, the foundation. So when you ink that, you can kind of get rid of some of that. Now these are just itty bitty tiny leaves, just almost like hearts, but I don't want it to look like hearts, but I want it to be organic looking. I don't want them off or anything like that. Just so a little more point to it, not that much curve. I'll probably make it a little bit smaller. kind of more pointy. And when you're vectoring, it's easy once you get your first design to kind of, and I'll show that when I do it, you can get it established and copy and paste and recreate it and then tweak it. So it's a little bit easier than doing it hand sketched, because I can't just copy and paste, but this has a more organic feel, and it's a good exercise for visualization. And then the leaves, kind of those long flowy leaves again. Probably need to take a class in just flower drawing, because I like that. I think I'm going to leave that one, and then one more. I can't remember what that one's called. Let's see if that's it. Could do a sunflower. Let me see. I'm gonna do like a wild daisy. That's kind of like a real simple daisy, but I kind of like that more like sketchy look. And I've got an inspiration photo. I'm gonna kind of like that. So they have two. So it starts. I don't know. Everything I do kind of goes that way, so I'm going to try to go this way, kind of like an odd, like semicircle, and then you can see the leaves on that side. I'm going light and handed on this one, which is, I wish I would have done that up here, probably would have looked a little better. So the angle, kind of go like that. This makes me think of He Loves Me, He Loves Me Not. Did y'all ever play that little game, picking off the petals? It was so funny. As kids, what we would think. I know these are very boxy right now, but I can kind of touch them up. Kind of have a little bit more depth to it. And then we're going to have it heavy. Get some shading in there. That's not too terrible. Kind of like the daisy and the lavender. That one's a little bit too wide. And those are supposed to kind of be the petals going down. So I'll probably have to play with that a little bit. Kind of have it look like that. And then it's got a good looking stem. And I'm just making the stem go all the way down. And then these, just a little. And then another one is kind of from the side, kind of blowing. There's that one. And that stem's probably a little bit too long. So I think my name is going to be dependent upon what flower I use. And I don't know if that limits me. So that kind of something, actually I have an idea what I do on this one. So I want to have it kind of bent in the wind a little bit. So there's that. Let me see how much time I've gone. So there's my 9 sketches. Now you can see the process is just really rough at first. And, very rough at first. I'm going to get back to make sure there's no questions or anything. Um, and if I were doing this for a real client, I would know, like, okay, what kind of flower are you looking for? What kind of theme are you wanting? But for this one, I just kind of wanted some rough sketches to give an idea. I've gone about 30 minutes now. So this one I like, these three I like. And that's kind of what drawing, it's an exercise. And I don't know if you can see those very well. Let me see if I can get a better view. So it's a warm-up practice. And that's why you want to focus on that. Let me see if you can see that any better. Let me see. It doesn't want to focus. Let me see. So you can see this is very rough, very heavy. And then it's a little bit lighter. And then here I get a little bit lighter. And then there, I'm kind of getting my rhythm here. That one, I just lost it because I really don't know anything about that. But it's an exercise. So when you're doing a logo, you want to have some variation and some ideas. Now, none of these are perfect. I would never submit these to an art project, but it's a visualization and it's an exercise. So I was trying to see if I had any to share that I did for school. Now these, let me see. But the main thing is getting your what was I saying earlier? So this is one I did for school. So I only did 3 because I only had a few days to get these done. But we had a project brief. Let me move it so you can see. But we had a project brief, and so that was part of the exercise. And so I got the name of the company. I got, they wanted movement. They wanted speed showing. So, and now what I ended up with was completely different. This was the one I liked the best, but it's an investment firm. So I had it going backwards, and that is a negative because you don't want to lose money. You want to go forward. And this one was meant to be like the image of a gate and the road like that travels through the gate. And then this one, of course, was just a very simple gate. And these were the handles of the initials. So I had some different concepts. I didn't go as deep as this one. But like I said, it was the time frame was a lot different. And so I had to get it done. But that just gives you an idea of what goes behind the scenes. And I'm going to lift y'all back up real fast. It may make a noise again, so I'm sorry. And then I'll ride it up. Oops, sorry. So that is all for that. So that was step 1. So ideally, step 1A would be meeting with your client and getting the questions asked. So colors, audience, purpose, visualization, anything like that. And then once you get all that, you kind of have an idea of what they're seeing in their mind. If they have an idea, if they have okay, I want it to be gold with my initials, or I want it to be a picture, like a visualization, like for a florist. For this project that I'm going to do a florist, and I have the idea in my head, so I'm going to just try to talk that out as if I were my own client and go through that process. So we'll next week I will pick out one and have a name. I don't have a name yet. So and that's part of the other things that you want to talk about with your client is what, I keep moving stuff. Sorry to get so close, but what do you have a name? Because sometimes you may have someone that they don't even have their name yet. So you can be, as a designer or a consultant, can help them get all that stuff done and figured out. So that's an interesting thing too that might be helpful. So I'll probably work through that next week then, and try to share some more tips. With fall coming up, I may try to share some fun things that maybe you could download and print for decoration. I don't know yet. Just let me know if that sounds something fun y'all would like to do. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'm sorry about the movement, but y'all have a great night and God bless you.